empowering self-care, self-healing, and self-mastery for a better world. Here's your host, Aeriol Ascher.
Woohoo! It is time. Hello, everyone. It's so great to be here with you today. My name is Aeriol Ascher, and I am the founder and creator of the Healing Body, Mind, and Soul Network, and the compiler of the upcoming book, Empowered Self-Care, Healing Body, Mind, and Soul for a Better World. I have been collecting the very top experts in the field of self-care. And what a better time during these health crisis and health challenge times. What a better time to bring forward experts, influencers in the field of self-care, self-healing, and self-mastery to make sure that everybody is safe and, I want to say, sane at these times of great change and a lot of change and chaos in our lives. I have brought together three of the most fabulous experts today that will come on and give you a little taste of their chapter from the upcoming book, Empowered Self-Care, Healing Body, Mind, and Soul for a Better World. Now, today I have the good fortune to bring forward none other than the fabulous Lenore, Amanda Slade, and Aimee Lyndon-Adams. I absolutely can't wait. And I know that you, our audience, you're going to want to lean in and hear what they have to say. Each author is going to give you a brief talk about what their chapter is about and why they decided to lean into this project at this time. So without further ado, let's go ahead and clear the stage. We are going to first have the fabulous Lenore. Now, I've known Linda for quite a while now. I think it was in 2007 when we met, something along these lines. And it was interesting because we didn't meet each other. We went through somebody else that I was working for at a healing studio, and we became fast friends. And then we kept running into each other in different communities and different things. Lenore is an amazing healer. She's a feng shui master and teacher, and she's going to tell you about her chapter in our upcoming book, Empowered Self-Care. So Linda, I'm going to go ahead and butt on out and turn it over to you. Just tell everyone today a little bit about your chapter and what prompted you to do this project at this time.
Okay. Well, I walked into an auditorium, sat down in the front row, kicked off my shoes. This was the first time I'd ever walked or gone to a trade show, and I didn't realize I was going to be standing and walking on cement floors for 6 days in 4-inch pointed toe shoes. My feet were killing me. So I kicked off the shoes, looked at the program to see what else was going on, didn't pay any attention. And just about the time the presentation was to start, I turned around and discovered I literally was one of a handful of people that were not of Asian descent. I felt very uncomfortable in that situation. This was 35 years ago. So I decided to get together my things and leave. Only thing was, gentleman started walking on the stage at that point. He was dressed in a black robe. He had 6 other people behind him in a processional. I knew at that point I could not get up and leave. That was being very disrespectful. I figured I could hang around for another, 45 minutes to an hour for the length of that presentation, only to discover that it was 3 hours long and the gentleman only spoke Mandarin. That was my introduction to Feng Shui and Grandmaster Lin Yun. He spoke about a number of different things, and whenever he would say good Feng Shui, people would go, oh, they're taking notes, and they go, wow. And then he'd say something about bad Feng Shui, and they're taking notes, better believe that. But he goes, oh. Most of the time he had transparencies that were already pre-drawn. He had helpers that were putting them on the projector, the overhead projector. Yes, 35 years ago, that's what we had technology-wise. But then he drew something. He took it over to the projector, set it down, and the translator that was there listened, puzzled, couldn't understand quite what was going on. Grandmaster said, if this is a house, if this is the location of a child's bedroom within the house, it could be so harmful to the child's health, the child could actually die. My heart sank. I could feel the tears welling up inside of me. I didn't care that I was being disrespectful. I grabbed my things. I ran out of that auditorium, found a place to hide and cry. What he had described was my house, my son's room, and my son Jeff had died a few months before. I couldn't believe what I had heard. After I composed myself, I was looking at the program to see what else was going on at this interior design trade show and discovered there was another 3-hour workshop on Feng Shui in that same auditorium. A continuation of the previous program. I had to go there. I had to find out what he was talking about. Only I'm not in the front row this time. I'm in the back. I'm as far away from the door, from the stage as possible, as close to the door as possible, so I can make an exit should he say something again, like that last bombshell. That day changed my life. I started studying Feng Shui. Feng Shui is a 4,000-year-old ancient philosophy that looks at how we interact with our environment, both the land and the buildings. I was struggling on many levels with that. I was struggling with the fact that I didn't understand the language. He was talking about Qi. I'd never heard of Tai Chi at that point. That was, again, 35 years ago. He was talking about using crystals and mirrors in a number of different places. I just couldn't understand that either. And this was based on a Buddhist religion. And I was raised in the Judeo-Christian background. So that didn't work for me either. But I was also struggling in life. That house that was described where my son died, there were a series of bad things that happened. And we were in the process now of going through a bankruptcy and divorce. Several years later, after moving out of that house, my neighbor said, well, Linda, don't you know what happened in that house? What happened to some of the previous owners? And I said, no one ever told me anything. She said, well, at least one went through a divorce and one went through a bankruptcy and one had a child die in it. They call that predecessor energy. Like energy attracts like energy. So when you've got bad energy, it attracts more bad energy. When you've got good energy, it attracts more good energy. I wound up renting a home in Redwood City that the previous owner had shot his wife and then killed himself in the house. Oh yes, bad juju. You're saying, why in the world would you move into a place like that, Linda? Well, it's the only place I could afford to rent. But I also had the tools at that point to be able to change the energy. I was able to clear it, doing a space clearing up. Things started getting better. I studied some more Feng Shui. Things continued to get better. I studied with 22 masters around the world. I studied about various healing modalities, advanced design techniques, comparative religions. And always the driving force was I never wanted another mother to lose a child because of something that might be going on in a home. So when Aeriol asked me if I could write in this book, it came to me that I needed to share because more people need to realize what's going on in their home, the things that they can change and the things that they may not be able to. But I think that you can change anything. So in the time that I have left, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share 3 tips from my program designed to build your beautiful life. Those 3 things are parts of the 4-step process. The first thing I'd like you to do is to look at your home. Look at the things that you do not like. What is not working for you? Is it functionally not working for you, or just kind of get a creepy feeling? Okay. So look at what's going on and then make a list or create some dreams of what you'd like to do to change it. That's what I suggested that my client Lily do. And when she did that, although she had felt very, very stuck in life, she was able to start moving forward. The second thing I'd like you to do is to clear the energy, like I had mentioned earlier. I have a recording called A Fresh Start that was part of my yearly animal program that I put together each year, where we clear out the energy that's going on and make it a better energy. And so one of my clients, Sarah, had downloaded it, but she hadn't done anything with it. And she was feeling very depressed. I said, listen, all you need to do is start clearing some of that energy, because again, like energy attracts like energy. So let's clear out that energy and get started, which she did. And she called me a couple days later. She says, it's like magic. I just feel lighter. Everything seems to be working much, much better. So the 12-minute recording of A Fresh Start can be found on my website, lindalenore.com. The third thing I'd like you to do is pay attention to your front door. Your front door is the main mouth of chi. And in my chapter in the Empowered Self-Care book, I write home as reflection of self. And we talk about how the body interacts with the building. And the front door is considered the mouth of chi. And just like with our mouth, we want to have things come into it, energy, take a breath of air through the nose, through the mouth. We want that same thing to happen in our homes. You may call it curb appeal. And one of my clients, Mary, she called me because she was having financial issues. And what I did was I went there, looked at things, and I made some suggestions for her to do. Well, she implemented some of them. It was interesting. A couple of weeks later, she called and she said, Linda, you won't believe it. And I said, oh, what? What's going on? She said, my husband just called. He's a stockbroker, and he's been wooing a couple of big clients for 6 months to a year. And he called and he said, honey, did you just do something with that feng shui thing that you were talking about? And she said, yes. He said, don't move it. Keep it exactly where it is. Do whatever keep it there, because I just landed those 2 clients. Instantly, she had changed the energy in just literally a couple of hours. So pay attention to your front door, what you can do to make that work better. And part of if you go to my website and download the A Fresh Start, you can also, part of that will give you 9 tips to build your emotional home. And I talk more about the Ming Tong, or the front door, the mouth of chi, and how you can make it better for you. I want to share a little bit more about Mary's story. One of the other things that she was very concerned about is that she had a daughter who was scheduled for heart surgery. She was 4 to 5 years old, and she was going to be going to Stanford Children's Hospital for this surgery. So we did some things that made me feel uncomfortable in the house, or in that room, in her daughter's room. And we changed I made the suggestions, and she immediately implemented them to make the energy feel better. And when she did that, a lot of prayers, a lot of hopes, and they went for the pre-op exam. And she called me back and she said, Linda, my daughter's fine. She doesn't need the surgery. I believe that every woman deserves to have a home in which to live, that she loves, that she knows is a safe, healthy, happy, harmonious place in which to have a family. I'm Linda Lenore. I'm the healing designer. And what I do is I help you to design a plan, design your home in your style, your way, to make it so that it is a beautiful place in which to live. And I was honored to be able to share many tips in my chapter, Home, a Reflection of Self. I am so grateful to Aeriol to have put this together, and all my co-authors, because right now we need This is a resource that we need so desperately. I want you to explore your home, use this as a tool to create your dreams and nurture your soul. Thank you.
Linda Lenore, that was beautiful. Everybody was commenting on the Facebook comments as this was going on. I commented, I commented that I had seen it, heard your story so many times, and I still get choked up every single time, Linda, honestly. And all of the Facebook users that are oh, look, Kelsey says, oh, she signed it. Good girl. All right, so Kelsey is with us on the line here listening. I love your story, Linda. I'm so honored that you have come to make sure that you share this story out. And I feel so privileged to have you on board with this chapter. But that's just me. Let's see what the other ladies think. I mean, what if these are some other pretty smart ladies as well? Let's go with Aimee. What did you think of her amazing presentation?
I just think it's wonderful, Linda and Aeriol, to recognize the importance of one's home environment regarding one's self-care. It's not where one would normally go, and I think it's absolutely incredibly important to have the right energy in your home and to clear the energy, frequently. And honey, your stories were just so compelling and really touched my heart. You made a very strong case for your chapter. Well done.
Absolutely. Thanks for chiming in there, Aimee. Yeah, we're getting so many comments coming on here, Linda. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It's really touching people out there. And we haven't even got to your chapter yet. That was just the introduction to come read your chapter. Amanda, what did you think of Linda's beautiful story?
Awesome. I mean, it's amazing, right? Like, I totally believe in feng shui. I've done it myself. So Linda, I didn't know you were such an expert. So I'll be calling you. And I love the reminder that you said about the front door, because I realized we have some things that we need to do with our front door. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to reading your chapter.
Yeah, it is like magic. Absolutely. Absolutely. Linda's work is like magic. All right. Well, thank you, Linda. Thank you so much for your beautiful talk. Please stick around because we're going to be asking you for some more tips. Let's get next on the fanfare. I would like to introduce none other than the fabulous Aimee Lyndon-Adams. And Aimee is so wonderful. She channels Ascended Masters, and I have done her energy mastery programs, and really, she's just such a beautiful energy. You're absolutely going to want to lean in and hear what she has to say about her chapter. So here we have her coming up. Aimee, it's great to have you here. I've known Aimee for a little while, just a couple years, not too long in the grand scheme of things, but I was so impressed with her spiritual community and her beautiful, gentle energy. I knew for sure that I needed to have her on board in this project. That is for darn sure. So I'm going to go ahead and butt out and turn it over to the beautiful Aimee Lyndon-Adams to let her tell you a little bit about her chapter in the upcoming book, Empowered Self-Care, Healing Body, Mind, and Soul for a Better World.
Well, thank you, Aeriol, for that beautiful introduction. Got me off to a great start. And my chapter title is called A Question of Balance. And as a recovering overgiver can Anyone relate? I've recognized that overgiving is actually a sign of deprivation, a sign that one's needs are not being met and emotions being stuffed. So just to clarify, a need is something without which you don't function well in the world. You know, for example, enough sleep, alive food, pure water, alone time, touch, connection, and movement. Now, the sad thing is that many women actually don't believe that our needs can actually be met. So what we do is instead, we move on to our wants. But if you really tell the truth, your wants never actually fill that void and can rack up credit card debt or create other forms of self-indulgence like food, alcohol, or even workaholism. So being able to identify my needs and address them myself has led me to take more personal responsibility for my own well-being, my health, and my happiness, and to follow a different model for balance. And the reason I wanted to take part in this book project is because I wanted to share this kind of radical thought with as many people as possible. And this book is a wonderful opportunity for me to do just that. Now, the kind of work I'm already doing in support of people's self-care is that I teach what I call energetic and emotional integrity. In other words, taking responsibility for your own energy and your own emotions with my 20 Ascended Master Guides, with whom I have the great good fortune to share my purpose and destiny with. Now, this work includes a heart-centered grounding process to literally avail yourself of the highest frequency energies from the earth and the higher worlds, and to be able to walk in an energetic field of your own high frequency all day and sleep in it all night. It also includes the setting and keeping of boundaries, the principle of giving from fullness, emotional release work. We need to be able to honor those emotions and release them safely, harm to none, including ourselves, keeping the chakras or energy centers clean, clear, and current, and keeping our frequency as high as we possibly can. There really isn't much more that's more important at this time. And in fact, if you go to my website, Aimee, Lyndon-Adams.com, there's a free gift for registering, and that's 33 ways to raise your frequency. And it's just a really beautiful document that will encourage your self-care. I also offer individual sessions, and these sessions are truly life-changing in that they release old core wounding, programming, and imprinting, and even cording that keeps you from seeing and claiming who you really are, and from that place being able to understand why you're here and what your own purpose in life actually is. And I have the great pleasure of collaborating with Amanda Slade, who is up next and a fellow author here, and her Diamond Co-Creative System, which is a 12th dimensional technology and effortlessly springboards our clients into the life they came to live. And why is self-care so important for us as individuals and our community? Well, this is the time of emergence. Emergence through what I call radical self-care. You see, we've all been programmed to believe that there's something wrong with us, that we have to act a certain way in order to get love and attention, and to fear punishment. This has all kept us playing small in order to feel safe. But it's now time to release your gifts into the world and to make your contribution. You see, I think that if everybody actually fulfilled their purpose and made the contribution that they came to give, there'd be no more problems in the world, because every one of us has got a piece of that puzzle. Radical self-care is not about taking time off and just filling the space with, books, magazines, shows, movies, puzzles, whatever just fills the space. But radical self-care requires that you prioritize some time in the stillness, or you could call it the wordlessness zone, where you get to just be rather than do. And that allows you to listen to the whispers of your soul. Radical self-care is about making your self-care your number one priority. It's about falling in love with yourself and treating yourself as you would the person you love most in the world. Can you imagine that? You see, everything stems from self. You attract your reflections in the people that are around you and the opportunities that you attract. No one can love you more than you love yourself. You just simply won't allow it. So at this unprecedented time on earth, when we're shifting out of the old power over modalities of separation, domination, and suppression, and into our hearts in a way that we've never been able to before, we can start, and we need to start, treating ourselves a whole lot better. And then you see, we can give from our fullness, from our overflow, versus constantly giving from the depletion that comes from overgiving. We'll find that we treat better the people that are around us in our community as we start treating ourselves better. And of course, the more we treat ourselves better, the better other people will treat us. Now, what can you expect from reading my chapter? Well, you can expect to feel confronted. You see, the self-care model that I practice is 50-50. Yep. That means 50% of my time is focused on filling my own needs. And 50% is devoted to my intimate relationship, to my work, and to my community. Now, I know that this is radical for those women who have been taught through words and modeling that we should always put other people's needs ahead of our own, which of course results in your needs never being met, which leads to constant disappointment and even resentment of other people. And so we get disappointed in ourselves, we get disappointed in others, and this can be corrected. So I'm recommending that you try my new balance model for just 3 weeks. It takes that long to change a habit. Even if you do revert back, something will have changed in you. You'll never be able to put your own needs on the back burner in the same way that you did before your experiment. And you never know, you may discover that this 50-50 balance model upgrades every aspect of your life. You know, through this COVID experience, I've had my own epiphany. When I stopped running around all over the place, I took the opportunity to examine how I was spending my time and my money. Got in touch with the yearnings of my soul for the life I haven't yet lived. I sobbed as I realized I wasn't disparaging the life I had lived, but rather was finally seeing the price that I'd paid of putting everyone else's needs ahead of my own. Now, at 72 years old, I ask myself, if not now, when? And since then, I'm very proud to say that I've reorganized my schedule to work with clients just 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and have 4 unscheduled days each week to take the time that I need to discover what truly feeds my soul and spirit in this human physical body at this incredible time on earth. And my highest hope for anyone who reads the chapter is that you will also enjoy such an epiphany and get back in touch with who you really are and what you really need, and give it to yourself. Thank you so much for listening.
Wow. Everybody, did you get a load of that? Aimee, thank you so much for that. You know, I'm getting some comments here as we're going. Kelsey's still hanging strong with us. She says, I'm looking forward to radically reading your chapter, Aimee. She's loving your advocacy of 50% self-focus. That's wonderful. Thank you, Kelsey, for that. Let's bring the other ladies on here to celebrate your beautiful talk. Let's hear from the fabulous Amanda Slade. What did you think, Amanda? Oops, you're muted, my friend. Here we go. There we go.
All right. Well, you can understand why I love having her as my business partner. 50-50. Yay. So, we both got very clear on that when COVID hit. And, you know, we hit it running so fast. And within the first 6 weeks, we went, wait. We have to slow down and really look at how we're going to live our lives and do business. And Aimee and I really keep each other in check on that. And I'm such a proponent of what she's doing, and we live it. So I thank you for sharing that, Aimee. I love hearing all the pieces and reminders.
Wonderful. I love it. You know, all of our listeners are going to want to make sure to subscribe to our Healing Body, Mind, and Soul network to make sure that you get notified when our book comes out, because for the first 24 hours, maybe 24, 48 hours, we are going to let you get that book for just $1. Can you believe it? It's going to be amazing. I just wanted to remind everybody of that, because you're going to want to get this book, right? Listen to these amazing women. Linda, Lenore, what did you think?
Oh, I loved Aimee, what she was sharing. I think that so many of us that are in that age bracket, we won't mention the age, you know, um, grew up with being told that we, seen and not heard, father knows best, the whole 50s TV series of, we were there to serve other people and not take care of ourselves. And so many of us have gone through horrendous health issues and loss of who we are, and so what you're sharing, Aimee, is just fabulous. Setting the boundaries. One of the things that I loved also was the fact that you were talking about raising the frequency. And so many people don't think about that. When you, from my perspective of when you walk into a room, if the energy is pulling you down or if it's uplifting you. And that being surrounded by the people that have a high vibrational energy is just so important, because you can ward off diseases. You can ward off the negative by having such a high frequency. It just bounces off. So I love the fact that you were sharing that, and then giving from a sense of fullness, the old, the tried and true airplane, put the mask on yourself first. I don't know that prior to when that story started being shared, that women especially really started thinking about how they need to take care of themselves first, because if you have nothing, if the well is dry, you can't give to others. There's just nothing there. So, priming the pump and taking care of yourself. And very often that does mean to be still and not do, so that quiet time. So I loved all the things that you were sharing and pointed out. And those were just a few of the ones that resonated immediately with me. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing, Linda. Amazing. Okay, now we have our next hit parade. We have none other than the fabulous Amanda Slade. Amanda is up to such wonderful things. I think you're going to want to lean in and hear what she has to say. I'll go ahead and just butt out and let her tell you herself how her soul got her fired. I love her chapter name in our book. So Amanda, I'm going to go ahead and just butt out here and let you take it on over.
All right. Well, thank you, Aeriol, and thank you for everything that you're doing with this book. It's so pertinent right now with us having to care for ourselves. So I'm Amanda Slade. I'm the co-founder, the co-creator of the Diamond Co-Creative System and the founder of Co-Create Your Success. And Aimee had spoken about the Diamond Co-Creative System, and it really is part of my journey. And because it's designed to offer you soul-aligned possibilities and solutions, as I like to call it. And I consider myself really a soul evolution catalyst. And working with individuals like you who really are focused on positive change and self-care. And for over 20 years, I've really have served over thousands of people throughout the globe with my proprietary techniques and tools from the Diamond Co-Creative System, and with energetic healing and spiritual grounding. The system itself, including what I'm going to share in a little bit, includes the universal manifestation template, and it helps to accelerate your awareness, activate transformation, and create alignment to expand into your soul's purpose and your more. And I wasn't always clear about who I am and what I was here to do, or what I am here to do, until my soul got me fired. And that's really code for freedom. During these uncertain times, I really felt that I wrote this chapter because everyone's lives and businesses, or maybe even their careers, health, are changing. Things are happening so that you have to pivot in your life or maybe in your business. And there are those that have lost their jobs, that have their businesses that are being impacted. Life is different at home. I was kind of chuckling with myself this morning is, my husband, I don't know that he's been back to the San Francisco office since March 12th. So things are definitely different. And there is continuous uncertainty with our future. So self-care is super important. But we can't look to the outside of ourselves to have our clarity, to feel confident, to be certain of who we are, to look for our safety and security. We must find it within. And in doing so, this is where my soul took me on a journey. So I want to just step back for a minute. I was a VP of sales and marketing for a New York publishing firm and been in corporate for over 20 years when all of a sudden my soul literally took over one day and got me fired. When the powers to be at the publishing firm that I was working for made a unilateral decision to close the Tampa office and move me to New York, I had to relocate in order to keep my job. So I did. I begrudgingly went to New York. At that time, I lived by my shoulds. I really had no clue what I wanted, what I was passionate about anymore, and even why I did the things that I did. I had climbed the corporate ladder, achieved success, making 6 figures, built a custom-built home, did everything that I wanted to do, traveled all over the world, but I wasn't happy, and I certainly wasn't fulfilled in what I was doing. As a VP of marketing and sales, I had a staff of over 15 people. I worked 70, 80 hours a week, traveled all over the country, and I was definitely living by my shoulds. I should do this or I should do that in order to succeed in my life and in my career. So it was January 2nd, 1997, my first day in my New York office. I went in early, like I usually do, 7 a.m., to set up my New York office. And I knew I had a call with my GM at 11 a.m. I went around the office, checked on projects, checked on things that I had implemented. And what I found is he had gone behind my back and really undermined me in many different departments. Little by little, I got more angry, more upset. And I kept on swallowing it because that's what I did back then. I stuffed my feelings. However, my soul was having none of that. So at 11 a.m., when the phone rang and I picked it up and I had a conversation with my general manager, literally my soul took over. And the words that tumbled out of my mouth were not the words that you wanted to say when you wanted to keep your job. And I called him out on what he had done. I told him, I was not to be a puppet. This is the agreement that we had had. Well, 2 hours later, I was called back into the office and was fired. So what that did was take me on a journey. And the journey was amazing because it was a healing and spiritual journey that helped me dive into self-awareness. And in that, I created self-care. And in my chapter, I'm going to share 3 steps that helped me get through those times. And listen, they were dark times that I literally fell to my knees and asked Source or God, however you term that, what can I do so that I don't have to live this way? And the 3 steps just real quickly, was 1, to meditate, get in touch with myself. 2, to journal, find out what I really wanted, what I really desired. And 3, energetic healing. This was probably the most profound piece, was to heal what no longer served me and what no longer worked for me. And I didn't know at that point, but in the journey, I learned what it was. During that time, I downloaded the Diamond Co-Creative System. It was 2001. I was on a trip, or going on a trip to Bimini, where these symbols came in, and I didn't know what they were, but I was told by my guides that these would be something I would utilize for myself first and then share with others. If you're not aware with what's truly going on within yourself, your physical body will break down. It causes exhaustion, pain, illness, disorders, and disease, just to name a few. And your emotional and mental body will not have the well-being, the love, the joy, the harmony, the peace that you desire. And this can cause even more struggle, more stress, and more suffering, which leads to more unhappiness. So thank God I did embark on that self-awareness journey. And the Diamond Co-Creative System helped me through that. And there's a tool that you can actually download for free on my website, Co-Create Your Success, called the Manifestation Template. And this tool has helped me manifest not only the home that I live in right now, which was beyond my imagination. I've utilized it in all parts of my life, in my business, and it really helps me realize how the universe is conspiring with me and advocating for me. And it does with my clients as well. I can't tell you how many stories I have from clients that have put their wishes, their desires in manifestation templates and instantly manifest homes, relationships, business. Linda talked about feng shui. This is a way to feng shui within yourself with the manifestation template, because it does bring forward awareness. If there's something to heal, that's something that is out of alignment with your desire, but it also helps you create and manifest it and really expand and evolve into your more. It's so much fun seeing the bigger picture that the universe has for you. I invite you to add the template into your self-awareness equals self-care practice, so you can create the freedom code that I did and manifest your more. My wish is that you manifest your true desires and what your soul really desires in all aspects of your life, health and well-being, and your career or business, so you can prosper and thrive beyond your imagination. I invite you to read my chapter to find out more and to really embark on your soul's journey to fulfill your soul's purpose. And again, you can download the manifestation template and ways to play with it for free at cocreateyoursuccess.com.
All right. Thank you, Amanda. Very good. Let's get the ladies on here to help you celebrate a job well done. Good job, ladies. Yes, I love it. We've got some Facebook love for you. Amanda, we love what you're sharing. It's so in alignment. That's wonderful. We have some stuff going on here. Let's call on Aimee. What did you think of your partner in crime here?
Thank you. Well, congratulations, Amanda. That was a beautiful share, and I'm sure it really spoke to the people listening and will really speak to people reading your book chapter. I also spent the first part of my life in corporate America at executive levels, and had that wake-up call that this is not fulfilling my soul. And that, it's amazing when you tell the truth, how the universe will really partner you to move you into a life that is more fulfilling. So that was, such an inspiring story that many of us, have either already done or need to do. And I think that speaking about the uncertainty of these times is another universal message. I would say there's not a person around that feels certain about anything right now. And rather than looking for that outside of yourself, as you said, it really is only to be found within. And lastly, I so resonated with your being run by your shoulds. Oh my God. Hallelujah for the day that I stopped shoulding myself. Thank you.
Great job. Fantastic. Yeah, you're really going to want to lean in to get this book so that you can find out more about how your soul can actually get in there and wreak havoc if you're not paying attention. What did you think, Linda?
Oh, I loved it. There's so many things. I don't know who the readers will be, and I don't know the different age brackets, but boy, I wish that this book were coming out 40 years ago when I needed it. Because learn the lessons, but learn them hard, and quite a journey. A little here, a little there, and this book is just going to be packed. And Amanda, I just love the way that you were talking about it. We do know the should list, but the steps of doing the meditation, the journaling, and then your energetic healing. I don't know how many of the audience are used to those terminologies or doing things like this, but I know that my first journaling was Julia Cameron's book, and that was the one that started me during one of my health crises, that I started doing the journaling and picturing what it was that I really wanted, which was part of the process of manifesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what your manifesting tool template is. That would be great. And I feel that what's going on right now energetically in this world is a reevaluation of what really is important. Many of us have gone through, you have definitely gone through the outer trappings and wanting to achieve based on that. And I think that a lot of people are now reevaluating, is that really what I want? Or, the adage of how do you cook a frog? You put in a pot of hot water? No, because it'll just jump out. But if you learn things slowly, or if you do things slowly, you get cooked, and that's how burnout occurs, where you just do a little bit more and a little bit more for the corporation, or a little bit more for other people, so that we lose who we are and haven't set the boundaries that are necessary for us to be able to live life. So I love what you were sharing. Thank you very, very much.
Fantastic. I love it. Okay, ladies, I want to go around the room one more time. If you could leave our audiences with a super tip, but not before I remind everybody one more time. You're going to want to subscribe to our list so that you can make sure to get the very first copies of Empowered Self-Care, Healing Body, Mind, and Soul for a Better World. We now have 24 amazing chapters coming forward to you from the very top experts in their field. There are practitioners, there are coaches, all coming from different perspectives and helping our reader really understand what they can do to totally up their self-care game. All right, everybody, let's go around the room one time. And I'd just like everybody to leave our audience with a couple super tips. Who'd like to go first? Anybody want to chime in? Aimee.
All right. So my super tip is to start your day with intention and to invite in the universe to help you with those tasks, because it's a shared. If you win, the universe wins. So this is not a going it alone lifetime. Just keep asking for help and end your day in gratitude.
Beautiful. Yes, that space of gratitude. What a wonderful way to set yourself up for a good night's rest.
Exactly.
Right? Beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Aimee. How about, who wants to go next? Anybody? Well, I'll just call on Amanda. Why don't you chime in? Can you give us some parting words, one of your fabulous super tips for our audience, please?
So my super tip is, if you hear yourself saying "I should," remember that is a 4-letter word. And you want to replace it with what is it that I really desire? What is it that I really want? What is it that I really need? And if you hear yourself saying "should," you know you're in a 3rd dimensional paradigm, which is a lower vibration. If you ask yourself, what is it that my soul aligned desire would be, then you will get a whole different answer. And I would highly recommend watching your words, watching your thoughts, watching your beliefs, and watching what your feelings are really showing you. What is the next step for you?
Beautiful. Wise words. Wise words. Okay, Linda Lenore, can you lay some fabulousness on us?
Well, let's have a little bit of fun. I'd like you to think about how you drew a house when you were a child. Children are extremely intuitive. And when you look at a house that they draw, they have a square, and then they've got an A-frame roof, and then they have 2 windows, and they've got a front door. Well, the windows are the eyes to the soul, and the front door is your mouth to speak and to get nurtured. So think about children and how they would draw, and think about your home and your life and the symbology around that. Watch a child and ask a child if you have any questions about whether the energy is good in a place, because a child 5, 6, 7 years of age, they know when the boogeyman's there. They know when something's beautiful and they're attracted to it. So the first thing would be, trust the energy of a child, be like a child. And then the second thing would be, love on your home. Love on yourself. When you love your home, you are taking care of yourself.
I love it. Love, love, love it. Thank you so much, Linda. I really appreciate it. Okay. We are just about to the end of our time today. I know that the audience has really gotten a lot out of each and every one of these talks. You're going to want to lean in. Oh, we have a last minute. Somebody wants, yes, children are so wise. Look at this. Children are so wise. They absolutely know, don't they? And if you want to know the truth, just ask a 5-year-old, right? But brace yourself, because you're going to get the truth. Okay. I want to thank you ladies so much for coming on. And I want to thank our audience for spending the time with us and for leaning in to just soak up the knowledge of these beautiful luminaries. I want you to remember that your voice matters, and that taking care of yourself isn't selfish. Taking care of yourself is the best thing that you can do to make your world, your environment a better place. So everybody, as I'm signing off today, I just want to remind you to take good care of yourself, and happy healing. This is Aeriol Ascher. I'm the founder of the Healing Body, Mind, and Soul Network and the compiler of the Empowered Self-Care Healing Body, Mind, and Soul for a Better World. Thanks, everybody.